This is the story of Phineas Wolcott Cook's grandfather, Captain Daniel Cook, and one of his adventures while serving in the Continental Army during the American Revolution. Captain Daniel Cook served in the Revolution for 7 years, beginning when he was only 15 years old.
At another time, when want had driven the company that grandfather was in almost to desperation, their horse beef was all gone, and no dogs or any kind of meat could be procured, and they had even roasted their shoes and eaten them. At last their captain told them to go out and take some Tory's chickens or anything they could find. They knew of a Tory nearby who had plenty but would sell none. He had a large bulldog that guarded the house, so there was no coming round in the night. At length a plan was hit upon. Grandfather was selected as guard. So he went forth near to the house, when out came the dog in a great fury. He saw that he must defend himself. So he drew his musket and shot the dog, which brought the old Tory to the door in a great rage, wanting to know what he had shot for. He said he had shot his dog, for every time he was on duty, he was in danger of being torn to pieces. And after detaining the old man for some time in the cold, he left for camp and found the boys had got some honey, which they had taken from the old Tory's bee house while he was scolding about the dog. The next morning, the old man came to camp in pursuit. The captain told him he did not think his boys had it, but says he, "We will search." So round the camp they went, the old man peeking and looking very closely until he came to the mess, where it was hid in a chest. The captain opened the chest, suddenly putting his hand into a small cask and taking it suddenly out again, covered with honey, slamming down the lid and taking his handkerchief from his pocket and wiping it off, saying, "Boys, what in thunder do you keep soap here for?" Says grandfather, "We have to keep it there, or the soldiers will steal it from us." One of the mess had his tongue swollen, so that his mouth was wide open, caused by the sting of a bee. The old Tory wondered at this and asked what ailed that man. The captain told him he had the toothache. This passed off first rate, and the old man went away.
Daniel and the soldiers had to live in this manner, sometimes almost starving and at other times borrowing from Tories, who were 10 times more treacherous than the British, Phineas's grandfather insisted. He remembered that the lack of food continued until General Lafayette arrived with thousands of troops from France to aid the colonists in their fight for independence. Captain Daniel Cook continued with the Continental Army until the end of the war. His health was never well thereafter, and he died just over 20 years later. He truly gave his all for the cause of his country.